Greetings once again, Shinobi. Duuz-Diz-Din, back again with Naruto, Konoha story, the Steam Ninja Scroll. Previously, the diplomatic mission that Kakashi, Guy, and Mirai are on was interrupted with a huge boulder in their path, blocking the entire valley that they were traveling through. So they called in Choji to lend a hand, and with Mirai cooking up some delicious potato chips for the big guy, he was able to get even bigger. And with everyone working together, they were able to push the boulder out of the way, unblocking the hot spring that it was covering. And later that night, Mirai goes for a soak, running into a young girl named Tatsumi, who is traveling to a hot spring where it said that the dead can be encountered, having been revived, saying that it happened during the Fourth Great Shinobi War, Edo Tensei. She tempts Mirai to join her, with the hope that maybe Mirai can meet her own father. Is such a thing possible, considering we know why the dead were revived previously? Or is there something more sinister going on? Join me as I find out, won't you? Tatsumi extends her hand to Mirai, saying, "Come with me, to see the people we want to see one more time." And Mirai reaches back out. This is Chapter 11, The Resurrection Hot Spring. But Mirai stops herself, getting out of the water, telling Tatsumi with a dejected look, "I'm sorry, I can't go." And she walks away. Later that night, we see Kakashi and Guy sound asleep, but Mirai, she's still up, sitting up on her bedroll. She thinks of the words that had been said to her along this journey. The words of Kakashi, saying he was just as awkward, referring to Azuma. Choji saying, "Sensei's words have given me the strength to protect the king now." She thinks of her departed father, who she only knows through a picture. And then she thinks of Tatsumi's word, "Isn't there someone you want to see, Mirai?" Mirai then goes racing down the halls of the inn, thinking to herself, "I want to see him. Not just my father as he existed in other people's memory. I want to meet him for myself." She comes upon Tatsumi, calling out to her, "Tatsumi, wait!" Tatsumi turns to Mirai, and Mirai says out of breath, "I've changed my mind. I'll go with you." Tatsumi clasps one of Mirai's hands, excitedly saying, "Great! To tell you the truth, I was anxious about going alone. Let's leave right away." She pulls on Mirai's hand, saying, "I heard you can only visit the deceased at night." And so we see the two traveling late at the dead of night as an owl cries out in the darkness. Tatsumi looks around, clinging to Mirai, saying, "It's so dark, I can hardly see." Scary, isn't it? As she moves in closer to Mirai, she says, "I can be quite the scaredy cat." Mirai thinks to herself, "In any case, I certainly couldn't let her cross the mountain by herself on a night like this. Master Kakashi and Guy are sound asleep. As long as I'm back by morning, it'll be fine. And what about the rumor of bandit? I'll just count this as scouting ahead." Tatsumi says, "Mirai, there's supposed to be a drinking spring around here. What do you say we stop by it?" Mirai says, "Sure, I'm getting a little thirsty anyway. We can rest a bit." Later at the spring, Tatsumi fills up her water canteen and hands it to Mirai, saying, "Here, have some." Mirai takes it, saying thanks. But after she takes a sip, her face goes pale. And Mirai says, "Ugh, it's kind of." Tatsumi laughs and says, "It tastes metallic, huh? I heard it's high in iron. Drinking it all at once can be rough on the stomach. So you're supposed to sip a little bit at a time like this. That's something you usually tell someone before they drink something." He continues on saying, "They say that people in the land of steam stay healthy by sipping spring water while they walk." Mirai says, "Well, it certainly does taste healthy, I guess." She then says, "Tatsumi, if you meet your mom, what do you want to talk about with her?" Tatsumi looks away, saying, "I want to tell her I'm sorry. The day before she died, we had a ridiculous fight over something trivial. I refused to back down. I didn't speak to her for the rest of the day. The next day I went back to the hospital to apologize, but she'd taken a turn for the worse. She never recovered." Tatsumi wipes away her tears, saying, "That's why I want to tell her I'm sorry." Mirai simply says, "I see." Tatsumi, still wiping away her tears, says, "What about you, Mirai? If you see your father, what do you want to talk about?" Mirai gets up, saying, "So many things, too many things." She then helps Tatsumi to her feet as they go walking back off. Mirai then thinks to herself, if I really could meet my dad, She then envisioned being back in Konoha, being back at her house, standing behind her dad, sitting down on the porch. She imagines herself walking towards her, hand stretching out. But suddenly she's brought back to reality by Tatsumi, He says, Mirai, we're here. Look over there. She points to a waterfall and tells her the cave is behind that waterfall. Inside is the hot spring where you can meet the deceased. The two enter the cave, traveling through the darkness, with Mirai holding a candle for light. As they go through, Tasumi says not much further now. They near a shining exit, and as they get closer, Mirai thinks to herself, I'll see him soon. I'll see my dad. Oh no! Of course this is where the friggin' cult of Jashin is. No way. Of course. The cult of Jashin and their manipulation of life and death. They see a group gathered upon an altar, next to an altar, with a throne at the center of it. People wearing black hoods and cloth covering their faces, while other people are standing in the hot springs wearing white cloaks, their faces uncovered. As Mirai looks on in shock, she says, it looks like they're practicing a ritual. Well, not just practicing, huh? She thinks to herself, I'm getting a bad feeling about this. We should turn back. But Tatsumi goes running towards the people, yelling back to Mirai, it's alright, they're family. Mirai thinks to herself, family? As they get closer to the ritual, the man previously sitting at the throne stands up, calling out, Tatsumi, you have impeccable timing. Jeez, that is a creepy looking guy if I ever saw one. Tatsumi calls out, Master Ryuki, I brought us a new member, just like I promised, she says, approaching her master. Ryuki smiles and says, very good. I was just about to start the ceremony. Mirai calls out, Tatsumi, what's going on? Tatsumi turns to Mirai and says, Master Ryuki can make miracles happen when he prays at a hot spring. He can empower a completely ordinary hot spring to cure illnesses or make it capable of allowing you to meet with the dead. Ryuki holds out his hands in a grand gesture saying, I use my power to lead the world towards a better place. That is my dream. He then smiles at Mirai saying, and to make that dream a reality, I need allies. So I asked Tatsumi to bring a friend. Mirai says, and that's me. Ryuki then gestures to one of the men in the robe, who brings him a chalice with a liquid inside. Ryuki hands the chalice to Mirai saying, from this day forward, you are one of us. You are now one of us. First things first, your initiation. Drink the entire vessel of miraculous spring water, blessed with prayer. May it bring you divine faith. Mirai says thank you as she goes to drink the water. She then just immediately pours it out, much to the shock of Ryuki and Tatsumi. She then drops the chalice, saying, sorry, my hand slipped. Gee, and after you went to all the trouble of putting sleeping medicine in it too. Ryuki continues to smile, not saying anything, but suddenly Mirai is seized by the men in black robes. Tatsumi pulls at Ryuki's robe, saying, Master Ryuki, what's going on? Please let her go. But Ryuki's smile turns to a sneer as Tatsumi recoils in fear. Ryuki then coldly says, just when I thought you'd find an acceptable sacrifice, you had to bring this oddly perceptive girl, he says while glaring at Tatsumi. But we won't let her escape. Begin the ritual. But Mirai, being an oddly perceptive girl, easily smacks all three of the people restraining her away. Ryuki turns in shock as he and Tatsumi are caught off guard by Mirai's power. And Mirai gives a intense look to Ryuki saying, oh yeah? Tell me more. I like this. And Mirai has never looked more like her parents than in this moment. I immediately just think of Azuma and Kurenai just being badasses back in the day. It makes me think of that moment in Naruto during the Konoha Crush story when the Sand and Orochimaru were attacking the Leaf and Shikamaru is outnumbered by Sand Shinobi and then he thinks he's done for and then in comes Azuma just taking out the whole group easily. She is her father's child. I honestly wasn't sure how we were going to get to this cult of Jashin eventually. I thought the whole encounter with Tatsumi was going to be like just another like one-off adventure, but this, okay, I like this, pretty nice. Like really playing into everything that's been building up with her want to live up to her father and people talking about her and relating her to her father. Like, they're all kind words and well-meaning, but it just makes her wonder if she can live up to that legacy even more. And the fact that she played along for the most part, assessed the situation, felt like, I think I can handle this. And she's already in too deep, and you don't want to compromise yourself, so at the very least she might be able to escape with some intel. But it'll be nice to really see Mirai cut loose. But hey, what did you think about this chapter? Let me know in the comments. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. And until then, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.